Hi everybody, welcome to Flosstube number 16. I am so glad to be able to come to you today. I have a lot of finishes to show you. I took a week off just because I had told you about my sick fur baby, Helio. And Helio actually went to the specialist. We got a good report. His labs came back. He did have cancer on his parathyroid, but that is something that is completely treatable. They were able to do surgery, remove it, and a matter of fact, we got the report back yesterday from the pathology, and she said everything's clear. We got none of the surrounding tissue still has cancer cells in it, and so this is something that Helio can recover from and still have a great life. So thank all of you. I had so many sweet texts and messages and prayers going up for him, and I know that's what made the difference. So thank you so much. He is back at home, and you'd never know that he even had surgery. He just feels great. I can see a huge difference in him, and so that makes my heart really happy. So thank you again for being so sweet and supportive with him. But I did get quite a bit of stitching in between petting the fur baby. I got lots of stitching. So I'm anxious to show you my finishes today. The first one that we have is one that I had showed you the board, and it's from Hobby Lobby, and I'll have all the information down below. And I stitched, it's from Heartstring Samplery, and she has the whole little alphabet series. And this one is T is for turkey. And so I had to stitch it on, I think it's Fox and Rabbit Persimmon. I may be wrong. I'll put the name of the fabric for sure. I'll double check myself down below. And I just wanted, it showed it on kind of a cream linen, but I loved this color. And I had bought it before I knew what I was even going to put it on it because I just love the color. Do any of you guys do that? You go to the fabric shop and you see all this beautiful linen and you think, I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but it needs to go in my stash. I'm really bad about that, especially this year. It seems like everybody that does linen has just made some of the most beautiful linen. And so I have a pretty good stash of it now. I've saved it up because there's something going to come along that I'll know just what to use that linen for. And so that was the case with this. I love the little flowers in this, and I thought this color would be a good accent. So I'll try and put it up a little bit closer. And this was a fun, fairly quick stitch. I did it on 36 count so it would fit on this board. So I did have to get my magnifier out. I used to stitch on 40 count all the time and 36, and it was like, oh, there's no problem. I don't know why people say they have trouble seeing on this. It's really not a problem. I understand now. I am having major issues without my magnifier. So I'm right there with you guys. 28 count is my friend. And I enjoy 36 and 40, but it requires a magnifier for me anymore. But that's what I had to stitch it on to get it to fit on this board. Then I just finished it with a little bit of lady dot trim, did a little fluffy green bow to put around the stand. And I'll also have the color that I painted the paddle as well. I'll have all the details down below. But I thought this would be a fun little piece just to set out when I get all my Halloween put up and be out there in time for Thanksgiving. So that's my first finish. And the board, I have it still, the sticker on the back. I didn't paint the back. It was $7.99 at Hobby Lobby. So that's a bargain for a finishing tool. Then I had talked about this the last Flosstube and said that I was going to do a challenge on my Violets and Verses Facebook page. So I designed a little pumpkin and I called it the Pretty Pumpkin Challenge. And everybody who would stitch the design and post a picture of it was entered for a drawing for a $25 gift certificate to Stitcher's Garden, which is my local LNS. And I have had so much fun. I tell you what, you guys are such a creative group of people. I cannot get over all the different colors, the different finishes. It has been wonderful and just inspiring to see how everybody pick something different. And so that was the fun part of it. I did not give any colors, and I didn't show one because I really wanted everyone to come up with their own ideas. And no, that's something you can do. You know, you may see a design or a pattern, whether it's mine or it's someone else's, and you think, you know, that's really cute and I like that design, but those colors just wouldn't work for me. Well, instead of just not stitching it, even though you love the design, feel free to go in and make it your own. Change those colors. So I hope this was kind of a little exercise in maybe getting some of you out of your comfort zone. Some of you may feel comfortable with it. I love to play around with colors. And so for me, that's just always something fun I like to do. Oh, I had to look. Mom's little pup Dexter has come up to my sewing room, and I have a few things down here on the table. It has a little shelf down below, and I had laid a few things that I'm going to show here after a while. Well, he was wanting to snoop and get into it, so I just want to make sure he didn't grab something and run, because he's good about doing that. So anyway, thank you to all of you who participated, and that chart is still listed as a freebie. So even if you didn't stitch it in time for the challenge, go in, it's still there. You can download it and stitch it at your own leisure whenever you feel like it. So now I'm going to show you what I did. This fabric I had purchased quite a while back, and I bought it at Hobby Lobby. It's by Zweigert. It's 32 count Murano, and I'm not sure, C-A-R-R-E, or could be Carrie. Anyway, I just thought that looked like fall to me. I think that's just a beautiful color. And so I knew I wanted to do something with that at some point. And another one of our stitchers, matter of fact, she'll find out she's the winner here in just a minute, but she used the same fabric. And so I decided for the Pretty Pumpkin Challenge, that's what I was going to use. And so I stitched it on that kind of gold color, but I only used one shade of blue. And that's because I have lots of blue in my house. I have blues, whites, yellows or golds, and I thought this would be perfect to put in my kitchen. I'm probably going to put this on my tier tray after Halloween, but just added it. This is from Hobby Lobby as well, this little thing. Let me show you one that's not finished so you can kind of see what it looks like. It just says home. They have some other sayings that are stamped on some others, but they're all the same price, $6.99, and I think they're 40 or 50% off this week, so you need to go to Hobby Lobby. Super quick, easy finish. So I took this, I didn't even paint it. I took a piece of sticky board, mounted this blue fabric, and I got it at Hobby Lobby as well. Then I mounted my stitch piece on another sticky board and just glued it on top. I didn't even put any trim because it's kind of sunk down in this little board piece, so I didn't think it needed it. I added a little bow. Now I'm going to have to tell you a little cheating hack that I did. I loved this fabric, but I couldn't find a thin ribbon. They only had the really wide wired ribbon, so I just cut it in half. And so one side's actually wired, the other's not, but it works fine because I just wanted kind of a small flat bow so I could put that little rusty leaf, glue it there in the center of my bow. So that's my Pretty Pumpkin Challenge finish this week. And the winner from that, I took everybody's name that participated, drew the names, and it was Cheryl Howard. So Cheryl, congratulations on winning the gift certificate, but all of you are winners in my book. You guys did a fantastic job, and I hope even if you are past the challenge time, I hope if you download it and finish it, that you'll go ahead and post your picture, because it inspires all of us that get on there. We love to get ideas from each other and see ideas on colors and see ideas on finishing. So thank you for all of you that participated in that. Now I have another one, and this is probably, I know that Mom said this was her favorite finish this week, and this is probably my favorite finish. I had bought, and I'll show it to you unfinished first. Sorry, I'm reaching down. I've got all my goodies down below. I had bought this wooden acorn at Hobby Lobby, and they still have several. I was there earlier today, and they still had several. It was $9.99, but it's on sale. All fall is on sale. So very quick, easy piece of something to finish on. And what I did, I painted the top, the hat of the acorn one color, and then I painted the rest of the acorn another, and I'll have those colors listed below. Then I just kind of sanded around the edges just a little. I didn't distress it a whole lot. And then gave some dark wax on it. Then, see if I hold it back there, you can see a little bit better. I mounted this squirrel, and I just love him. He was so much fun to stitch. He was very quick, very easy. And I'll have that listed below too. I think it's with eye needle and thread, but I'll have the correct pattern designer listed below. And once I stitched him, I mounted him on sticky board. The trick was finding exactly what size circle I needed. And so I had all kinds of lids and bowls and things that I was trying to find one that worked just perfect so I could have a template to measure my squirrel. So those of you that are quilters, you probably already have a circle template that would work. But cut him out, mounted him on the sticky board. Then I added some of this trim that came from Hobby Lobby. Then I just made a little fluffy bow, and I have to be honest, this ribbon is some I've had for a while, so I really don't even remember where I got it. And then I added this little acorn pick, which I got from Hobby Lobby, added a few pieces of it. And then they also had these little tags earlier in the season. This one I think says grateful. They have one that says blessed. And I just kind of hot glued it up in underneath that pick. So that's my finish. He could be cute hanging. He could sit in an easel. Just lots and lots of things that you could do with him. But this was my third finish this week. So a quick stitch and a quick finish. So as you can tell, I was in the mood for some fall stitching this last couple weeks. All three of my finishes were fall finishes. But Arkansas, we had warm temps yesterday morning. There were some tornado warnings. Not right where we live, but close by. And as soon as that front moved through, though, we have the most wonderful weather today. Clear skies and beautiful fall temperatures. So it is the perfect time to get some fall stitching in. Now I want to share, because you know I have to have a little history lesson each time. So my first one is just a fun fact. And it has to do, this little squirrel got me to thinking, because we have a huge pecan tree next to our garage, and it's full of squirrels. They're working all summer and fall long, grabbing the nuts up and putting them somewhere. And so I wondered, how many nuts can a squirrel possibly eat? Because it seems like they're constantly getting them from the tree next to our garage. So I was just curious about that. But it surprised me. When I Googled it, it said just about 2 nuts a day is all that they eat. It did say that they stash a whole bunch of them away because that's their winter food. They use that, they'll eat all that up over the winter, then they'll have to start searching for new food in the spring and summer. But that kind of surprised me. I really thought they would eat a lot more than that, but about 2 nuts a day is all a squirrel will eat. So that's just a short fun fact. Now, the turkey, when I was working on it, I was thinking about something that I had heard years ago, that Benjamin Franklin had wanted the turkey to be our national symbol instead of the bald eagle. He thought the turkey should be the national bird, not the bald eagle. And that always surprised me because I thought, you know, I've seen bald eagles before, and I know when I have in-person retreats, I love to use Mather Lodge, which is up on top of Petit Jean Mountain here in Arkansas. And certain times of the year, there are a lot of bald eagles that come up there and nest for a while. And so I've seen them, and they are magnificent animals. They're huge. Their wingspans could be 5 feet across at the minimum. They're just very beautiful, and I can see how they're a great symbol for the national bird. And when I think of a turkey, I just think of one cooked and on a plate ready for us all to eat. They're not very attractive in my opinion. So I've had trouble imagining a turkey being our national bird. So I wanted to look at that a little bit closer. Of course, you guys know that by now. And this is what I found out. I've got to look at my notes so I don't steer you wrong. It said that story about Benjamin Franklin wanting a turkey instead of the eagle was actually just a myth. It really was not a fact. He agreed with the eagle, but he was not happy when he saw the first picture of the seal. He thought the eagle looked like a turkey. He said turkey would look better than that. He was writing a letter to his daughter. And I think, bless his heart, he probably didn't think anybody else see that letter. And here we've been talking about Ben Franklin and the turkey for years and years and years later. He had no idea, I'm sure. But he was just writing a letter to his daughter, probably just venting because he thought that the bald eagle was not a very good picture. And so in his letter to his daughter, he talked about, he said the eagle has a bad moral character. It steals food from the fishing hawk. And you don't see the turkey doing that. The turkey is a much more respectable bird. And he also talked about the eagle he thought was probably lazy because it liked to get its food from something else. And he said, I know a turkey, if it saw a red coat, it would probably attack. And so I think he was just blowing off some steam to his daughter over not being happy about how the bald eagle looked, and it just went from there. I don't know if you guys have ever played the game Gossip. I know when I was still teaching, usually at the very beginning of the year as an icebreaker, I would always play that with my students because I wanted them to realize how saying something about someone else, even if it's a small little story, can really get out of hand. And this usually worked. And so the way that game works, for those of you that have never played it, you get in a big circle and I would start the story off. So I would have just a sentence that I would tell to the person to my right. Then they would whisper to the person on their right, and it would go all the way around the circle until it got to the person on my left. Then they had to tell the group what they heard, and it never came back the same as what I started. And so that was just a very good lesson in letting the kids see how easily things can get switched up, and what is supposedly the truth isn't always. And so that's probably what happened to Benjamin Franklin. People got word of this letter and they didn't realize he was just saying he wasn't happy with the picture. He was just talking about the turkey, and it's been passed down for years and years that Benjamin Franklin really wanted the turkey for the national bird instead of the eagle. So lay that to rest. That is a myth. I just thought that was kind of fun to look at and see. And I know the presidents today give a turkey a pardon. So if you're a turkey, you'd really want to be the one that's pardoned by the president, I think. And I'm sure there's a whole nother history lesson with that. Now I want to show you some of my WIPS. I'm getting ready to leave in the morning. I'm going to Savannah to meet up with some of my friends, and we're going to attend a retreat called Stitching in Savannah. I cannot wait. I am so excited about seeing my girlfriends, first of all, because we try and get together a few times a year, and of course with COVID that's been a little tricky. But we are all going. We're going to meet up, and two of our friends can't go with us, so we're going to FaceTime them so they can be with us in spirit, and we can still all be together in some sense. But if you're going, let me know. I want to be sure and say hi, or if you see me first, be sure and holler at me. I'd love to see some of you in person. And I don't know how you guys are when you go to a retreat, but I pack way more WIPS than I know I'll ever finish. That's just the way I roll. But I have that packed. And usually my stitching is the first thing I pack. Then I worry about my clothes. Clothes are not as important as my stitching. So my stitching is already packed. It's sitting by the staircase. My clothes are also packed, but they came second. So anyway, let me show you what I'm going to take. So these are going to be my WIPS. And this is also another finish. I didn't think about this. anytime I go to a retreat, I always feel the need to have a new bag of some sort. Usually, like if the retreat is a theme, I try and do a project bag related to the theme. But I had this violet fabric for a little while. I bought it in Branson and I loved it. And so I decided to do an initial with a little violet next to it and put on it. So let me show you my other finish. So I just did my initial J and added a little violet. Isn't that the sweetest fabric though, with those little violets? So I have a new project bag to carry. That's like better than new clothes to me. And I've got a couple things in here kitted that I'm excited about stitching on. One of them is a WIP that I've had for a while. I haven't stitched on it in a while. It's kind of been put out and time out. And it is a Quaker. This is the one for those of you that have seen my other floss tubes. It's called Quaker Evening Prayer, and I have had this design for a long time. I love it, and I want this to go over our bed in the master bedroom. It's by White Lion Needle Art Designs, and I just think that is the prettiest Quaker, and it's a nice size, so it's going to be great. I'm going to put it in the center, and then I have some other Quakers I want to do and kind of put around it. But I'll show you what I've got done so far, and I hope next time I come to you on FlossTube, I have a lot more to show you. So this is what I've got done. I use Gloriana Silks, and I'm going to do all the Quaker designs in that gold, and the lettering all in the blue, which will match my bedspread. And the Gloriana, it's Italian gold and blueberry. I had to look, it was covered up. So Italian gold and blueberry are my colors. I am so excited about getting this done where I can hang it up. My poor bed has just been without anything behind it. But I refuse to buy something because, in my opinion, if I buy a picture and hang it behind my bed, I won't be as apt to get this finished because I'll think, oh, there's something up there. Where if it's bare, every time I walk in my bedroom and I see that bare spot above my bed, I think I need to get on that sampler. So I'm hoping to get a lot more progress done on that this week. So that's one of my WIPs that I'm going to take with me. My other WIP is actually, I hope Haley's not watching. Haley, if you're watching, pretend you don't see this. That's my daughter-in-law. I haven't got her into stitching yet. She's been in pharmacy school. Now she started a pharmacy residency. So she really hasn't had time to stitch yet, but I hope to someday. But they have a cute little bar area in their house. And since she is all into chemistry and pharmacy and all of that, I thought this was adorable. It says brew, but it's using the periodic table of elements. And so this is by Patty Yergi. Samplers Revisited is the name of the designer. And I'll have all that down below as well. And I decided to use, let me show you the fabric. It is a 32 count Fox and Rabbit baked clay. And I know this probably won't do it justice because of the video, but it is beautiful. It's just a pretty brown, but it has a little variegation to it. You can kind of see. And I'm using Gloriana Silks on it as well. Since it's for my son and his wife, Haley, my daughter-in-law, I decided to splurge and use silk. It is Gloriana Woolly Bear, and it's just a darker brown. And I can't wait to get that done. I've got to get on the stick on this though, so I can send it off to get framed. So that I'm taking with me. And that's in one project bag. Now I have another Violets and Verses project bag that's kitted up and ready to go. I don't know about you guys, but I love my project bags, and not just because I do them. There's lots of people that make beautiful project bags, but just because it keeps all my stuff together. If not, I have it everywhere. I'm taking 2 Christmas pieces that I have not started yet, and I can't wait to do them. You'll see them as a finish, because this is how it worked. I went in Hobby Lobby last week and I found 2 finishing items that you'll see in my haul that I fell in love with, and I'm like, these just scream put something stitched on me. I don't know what I'm going to put on them yet, but I got to get them. So you'll see them here in just a little bit. Well, after I bought the pieces, I had to go by Stitcher's Garden because I was having withdrawals. I hadn't been by there in a while. And when I went in, I knew the dimensions that I needed something to fit for those 2 pieces I got. And I was able to find 2 Christmas designs. So I'm going to show you what I got. The first one is a Prairie Schooler, and I love Prairie Schooler. And I'm going to do this one right here in the middle, this Santa with the 2 reindeer. Now it says, I think, just Merry Christmas to all at the top. I'm not going to put those words. And when I show you the finishing piece, you'll understand why. I'm just going to do Santa in the sleigh, the 2 deer, and the border. But I'm going to leave the lettering off. I may add some little snowflakes up there or something to kind of fill in where the lettering was. And I kind of picked my own colors on that. I used some of the called for colors, and some I used my own pick. I wanted a different red, so I did that. And once I finish him, I'll tell you what color, show you my color conversion on that. The fabric I got was 16 count Aida. Picture This plus Heartland. And it's just such a nice feeling, Aida. It's not stiff or rough. It's just, it feels really good to the touch. And it's kind of a tan, but it's got a little bit darker strip kind of running through it every so often. So that's a Christmas piece that I've kitted up to take with me. Then this second Christmas piece is going on another one of my finishing pieces that I'll show you in my haul here in a minute. And I found this design by Teresa Kogut, and it's Primitive Santa. I absolutely love that little guy, especially because he has a snowman in his pocket. And I thought, this is exactly what I need to go on that piece, and he fits perfectly. I am going to leave this border that's on both sides. I'm going to leave that off and just do the Santa. That way he'll fit on there nicely. Now, I did use all of her called for colors. And the fabric that I'm going to use for him is a 36 count. So guess what? I have to dig my magnifier out. It's Up in the Attic, and I think it's a really nice color too, kind of a little bit darker brown. So those are 2 Christmas patterns that I'm taking. I'm hoping the weather's going to still be nice and cool there, and I'll enjoy stitching that kind of stuff. Now, this is what I stitched on it last night, and I can't wait. I'm going to stitch on it again tonight. I saw this, and I apologize because I can't remember where I saw it. I have all these different groups that I belong to on Facebook. And so when I'm just scrolling through, I'll see some finishing that I think, oh, that is so pretty. I have got to do that. Well, when I go to look and see who posted it or which side it was on, sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't. So I apologize if you're the person who posted this and I can't remember where I saw it. But it was beautiful. It's by Heartstring Samplery, and it just says, I wish you lived next door. I love that. I have a sweet friend that I'm stitching this for, and I just changed the colors to colors that I know she likes and that she has in her home. And so I am having so much fun. This is a very quick stitch, and I am stitching it on 36 count because I want it to be a small piece. I don't want to give this huge picture that they're not sure where they're going to put it. But Heartstring Samplery, I wish you lived next door. And if you get this piece, I was surprised because I bought it because I'd seen it and I love the design. But when I got home and took it out, there is the sweetest little article on the inside. There's one part of it, and here's the other. And she talks about her inspiration for doing this design. And it is the sweetest story. And so to me, that was just like a bonus. I thought, I love to read that kind of stuff. And so I really appreciated Beth putting that in here. And it just made stitching it even more meaningful to me after reading her story. So if you don't have this design, I encourage you to run out and get it, because I'm sure you have a sweet stitchy friend that would love to have this as a gift. And I know Christmas is coming. It's hard to believe, but it will be here before we know it. And I just think that reading her story, and if you have a neighbor that means a lot to you or a friend, this would be a great little gift to give them. And so let me show you how much I've got done so far. I'm sorry for all my wrinkles. I've just got You Lived Next Door. Now I have a confession to make. I did have I Wish done last night. I did all the lettering first, and then I started on the bird, and as I'm stitching the bird, I thought, that's not right. He's not turning out right. He's going to run into that letter. So I got to looking, and I had started Wish in the wrong spot. And it wasn't. Sometimes when I make a mistake, I just say, hey, the Quakers all purposely made a mistake on their piece because they said only God was perfect. And so sometimes if it's an easy, teeny tiny little mistake that I don't think anybody else is going to see, then I don't worry about it. I say I am Quakerifying it. But this was something that I could not ignore. It had to come out. So the frog visited me last night, and I had to rip out I Wish. And so tonight I've got to put that back in. But I know I'm not alone. I know everybody has to frog at some time. So those are my WIPS that I am taking with me. I know there's no way I'm going to get all that done because there's going to be lots of talking. There's going to be lots of laughing. We're going to be visiting with other stitchers. We're going to be looking at things that's there to see. We've got some tours we're going to take. So I know there's no way I'm going to get it all done. But I'm going to take it with me anyway because I'm not sure what I'll be in the mood to stitch. So anyway, those are my WIPS. Now I can show you my haul. I am so excited. I got lots of goodies. But the week before, I really did not remember. I only got the stork scissors. So I had to make up for lost time this last week. I got 2 boards in from April Taylor. She has Homestead Needleworks on Etsy and just does a beautiful job. And so I'm not sure what I'm going to put on these 2 boards. I have some small little sampler type pieces that I needed some boards to mount on. And these look like they'll be the right size for me. So here's one, and I think you can see it's kind of showing up on my camera. It's crackled, and so the top paint is a brown, and underneath it is this beautiful kind of a orange, pumpkin orange color that kind of peeks out through those cracks. I just love it. So that's going to be a pretty piece to finish. Then I have this one's a little bit smaller. I love the top of that. And it's just a primitive black with the edges distressed. So those are 2 boards that I got in that I'm going to use for something. Not sure yet. Now, remember me showing you my 2 Christmas WIPS that I'm taking with me. Here's the finishing pieces. This sled came from Hobby Lobby. I'm trying to find the price. It was $19.99, but Christmas is all 40% off. So that's a bargain. I just think it's adorable. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave it the same color or paint it. I'll leave the black metal part black, but I may paint the wood. I'm not sure yet. But that Santa will fit just perfect right here. And so I can't wait to get it done and mount it on here and see how it turns out. So that's one piece. Then the Prairie Schooler Santa in the Sleigh with the 2 reindeer, I'm going to mount on, he takes up the whole thing, this board. And it was also $19.99. And now you see why I'm not going to put the lettering, because it says Merry at the top. And the Santa will fit, I'm going to take sticky board, and it will fit right underneath these trees to the bottom, and I'll just mount my stitched piece down here below, and that's all I'll have to do. So I think this will be a very quick finish, but I can't wait to see how it turns out either. And I did change the red, I think I told you, on the Prairie Schooler Santa, because I wanted to make sure this is a little different red, and I wanted to make sure that that matched. So those are my two Hobby Lobby finds for finishing. I was so excited. Now I found a couple other pieces at Hobby Lobby. This is a candlestick holder, but I love the top. And I have a little Quaker book that I think it's the Acorn School of Little Quaker Motifs, and it's a great book to have. I think one of the little motifs will fit perfect in the top of this for a little pincushion. Mom was needing something as an exchange for the Prim Stitchers retreat that we're going to go to in November, and I think this will be great for her to do. So I got it and I said, hey, if you're still wanting an idea, I've got something picked out for you. So if she gets that finished, I'll have her let me borrow it and show it to you before we take it for the exchange. Then I found this little tray. It was tell you how much candle holder was. It was $7.99, and I'm sure I didn't pay full price for it. This was $9.99. It's just a little metal tray, but I think it would be so cute with something mounted right inside of the tray, and then just kind of hang it up. You could set it on a table if you wanted to, or you could kind of hang it up. So I'm not sure what I'm going to put in that yet, but it was just too cute not to get and to pass up. Then I have 3 patterns that I got from someone else just through Yarn Tree. And this I had seen on a site someone had stitched, and it said, keep calm and cross that stitch. It's a hands-on design chart, and I think that's adorable. I want to do that one at the top to go somewhere here in my sewing room. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that little one on the bottom. I may have put him in a project bag. But I thought that was such a cute chart. Then I got another square dance for January, February, March. So I can finish that up. And then those of you that have seen my floss tube with the history of my home being, it was built by an Effie Lincoln. She and her husband built this home, and they were actually related to Abraham Lincoln. And so my foyer kind of tells the story of our home. And when this sampler came out, I had so many people send me a message and say, have you seen this? And yes, I'm so thankful because you guys are great enablers. So thank you for always, if you see something that you think I need, you send me a message because I might have missed it and I don't want to. But this is called Honest Abe, and it's by Twin Peak Primitives. And I am so excited about doing this one. He's going to go downstairs in my foyer whenever I get him finished. I'm not going to start him till I get a couple of my bigger pieces finished, like the Quaker that I showed you earlier, and I have another large sampler that I'm doing for our dining room, and I want to get those finished before I start him. And I'm hoping that will be an incentive because I'm really anxious to get started on this one. And if I make myself wait and finish a couple other projects first, maybe I'll hurry up. So anyway, I can't wait to do this one. Then you guys are going to know where I've been when you see this bag. Take a guess, Stitcher's Garden. So I have a lot, but I would just want you to remember that it was a couple weeks before I went in there. So I had to make up for time. I saw this little pattern, Cocoa Time. This is by Ink Circles. I think that's just adorable. That's going to go on a project bag. Our next bag sale will be in December. No, not December. It will be the very end of November. And it's going to be Christmas and winter themed. So that one will be on one of the bags. Then I have a lot of friends that like cats. And this was just Meowie Christmas. And I have bought some cute cat fabric. And I saw this pattern and thought, oh, that's what I need to go on that bag. Then my mom loves birds. And I've been trying to talk her into stitching just for herself. I said, when I'm going to this retreat in Savannah, she's staying here. She didn't want to go off and leave Dexter just yet. And so she's going to stay at home. And I told her, I said, instead of working on bags, just pick something that you want to stitch for you. And I doubt she does that. She loves working on bags, so she's probably still going to work on bags. But I bought this chart for her. Hopefully she will get some stitching in on it. But she loves birds, and I just thought that was such a pretty design. It's called Winter Birds, and it's also a Twin Peak primitive. So that was another one. Then I got this from Hands Across the Sea Samplers. It's Harriet Goddard, 1817, and I love all the colors in this. And just to be honest, I love anything Hands Across the Sea does, but I had not tried one of her new spiral bound patterns yet, so I bought this pattern as much to see how this worked. I've heard so many people talking about how they love it being put together this way. Instead of a great big design in a big book that can be overwhelming, it's a nice small piece, and she bound it together with the spiral at the top. So I'm anxious to see how I like it too, because everybody I've talked to loves it that way. Then I'm making lots of racket rattling around in my bag. I got a Heartstring Samplery. It's called Merry Birds. And these will also go on bags, but aren't they the cutest? Just little Christmas birds, kind of theme. And then this one I absolutely fell in love with, but it's another big one, so I've got to get some of this other stuff done first. It's also by Heartstring Samplery, and it's called Christmas Bells Sampler. Isn't that gorgeous? And I was reading it, and I could just hear that song in my head, so I'll be humming that song the rest of the day. Then I have one more design. It's also a Heartstring Samplery. It's from her Sunday Stitches series, and this is To God Be the Glory, Great Things He Has Done. And it seemed when I was growing up, we had the old-timey hymn book, and we'd all sit and pull the hymn books out and sing. And every Sunday, I think we sing this song. So I can hear that singing in my head as well, just reading that one verse. So I had to get it. Then, I told you earlier how I've kind of been addicted to all these linens this year. So I got 3 more linens to go in my stash. This one is a Lakeside Linens Maple Sugar. It's a 32 count. And I don't think the video is going to do it justice, but it is just beautiful. Then I got another Fox and Rabbit Prehistoric. This is also a 32 count. It's just a pretty gray. To me, that kind of looked like a winter something. And then this is another Fox and Rabbit Ballet Slipper. And it's a 32 count, and it's just a very soft, kind of a flesh color nearly, but very pretty. Then I have one more goodie to show you. Linda had these setting when you first go in her doors, all the new things. So I have to check that out first. And these were all sitting over there. At first I'm like, well, I wonder what in the world that is. So I got to look at it and see what it is. And it's these little trays. I'm going to take mine out. I left it flat so it would pack easy. But I need to show you what it does. I got one for me and one for Mom. And Mom has used hers all week. We went running errands this morning. She took it with her, put it in the car, and it kept up with all her stuff. What you do is just pull that up and snap it, and you're going to go all the way around the edge doing that. Sometimes you kind of got to work with it because it's not wanting to bend since it's new. And when you finish, isn't that the cutest little tray? And she had the purple, she had a blue, and I think she had a pink were the 3 colors that she had in stock. And each one of the colors say something different. This one says, my soul is fed with needle and thread. And I'll be honest, I can't remember what the pink or the blue one said. It had a different saying though. But I thought that was so cute and very handy. And I know, like I said, Mom took hers with her in the car this morning because if I go running errands, she likes to get out and go with me. Lots of times she won't go in. She takes her stitching with her because she says that's the best place to stitch is sitting in the car. The light is perfect, and I am going to tell on her. Okay, I am in my mid to late 50s, 56 to be exact. So now y'all know how old I am. And my mom still rides with me. If I say I'm going to go to the mall or I'm going to go up to the store, she goes with me because she said it doesn't matter how old you are. If I'm sitting in the car and I see someone acting suspicious, or if I see somebody grab somebody else, I can push the panic button on the keychain and I bet it will scare them off. So my sweet mom, bless her bones, she looks out for anybody. If we're ever parked somewhere, you guys want to park next to us because my mama is looking out for everybody and she will push that panic button if she sees something suspicious going on. She hasn't had to yet, but she will go and take her stitching and have that panic button on standby ready in case she sees something that shouldn't be going on. So anyway, love her to death. So she loved this. She just put all of her goodies in it, set it up on the dash, and she stitched away. I can't wait to use mine. I'm going to take it with me to the retreat, and so I'm going to take it apart now. All you do is just unsnap the corners, and it's flat once more, easy to pack, easy to carry with you. So that was from... Anyway, I got Stitcher's Garden, and I'm sure other LNSs are probably carrying it too. I think it's a fairly new item that's just come out, but check with your local LNS and see if they have it. You're going to want one. So that's my haul from this week. I'm not going to say that I'm going to be good because I'm going to a stitching retreat, so I'll probably have more haul next week to show you guys. I just want to take a little bit of time and thank you. I appreciate all of your comments. I love going through and I read every one of them, and I try and let you know that I've read it. And I just appreciate you coming back and all your kind words. And so we are getting very close to 2,000 subscribers. I would love to hit 2,000 subscribers this next week if possible. I don't know. But I would appreciate if you have friends that are stitchy friends, please share my channel with them. And if you have other stitch groups that you belong to and it's allowed, share my channel with them. And I sure do appreciate when you do that. I know once we get to 2,000, I will give away another gift certificate. I have a $50 gift certificate to Stitcher's Garden, my local LNS. And that will be when we hit 2,000 subscribers. We'll have a big giveaway for that. And I also need to show what I'm going to give away again for this week. I have one of these that I use for one of my finishes. This was what I used the Pretty Pumpkin finish for. And then I had this I just thought was cute. It looks like pumpkin pie, little notepad and pen. And this nobody claimed. And this was one of the little organization drawers. And I have the freebie for this on the Violets and Verses Facebook page. So I'm just going to throw that in with this little notebook and pen. So that's number 2. And then I also have an extra wooden acorn that I'm going to give away. So that's number 3. So I will draw 3 winners for next week to give away. And I forgot to bring my list of who won the scissors from last week. I had the stork scissors. Sorry, I just knocked something off my tub. And I'll have that listed below, the name of the winner. I pulled the name and it's over there on my desk. So I'll just put that name down below. But we gave these away last week. Remember, you have until I do the next floss tube to claim them. I just need you to email me your mailing address if you're the winner, and I'll get them in the mail to you. And in the meantime, just comment below to win and tell me which you think you would prefer, a turkey or the bald eagle, or is there another bird you think would have been a better national symbol? And or any other comment you want to make. Just have fun with it. I thought that would be a fun way to see what everybody else thought the national bird should have been. But once again, I'll be in Savannah this next week. If you are there, holler at me. I'd love to say hi. And tell your stitchy friends about the channel. Thank you to those of you who have subscribed. We had lots of new subscribers this last week. I appreciate each and every one of you taking time out of your day to watch. And I just love this community that we're in, that we can gather together no matter the distance between us. So thank you for doing that. And I hope each one of you has a great week ahead. Nice cool temperatures wherever you're at, I hope, and some time to set aside to stitch. So take care, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye.